I think there are a couple things that are very important. Number one, what you mentioned previously is Delta is not gone. We still have a significant problem with Delta in our country, a lot of transmission. We have no evidence yet of Omicron being diagnosed in our country. It will be here. But I think at this point in time, rather than worrying about Omicron, we need to start worrying about Delta. We still have a lot to do. We need to be sure to get our COVID vaccine if we haven't been vaccinated. If we have been vaccinated, go ahead and get your booster. Continue wearing your mask when you are in crowded indoor spaces, and continue, doing the things we've talked about. We know how to prevent transmission of this illness. The most important thing to remind people is this pandemic is not over.
Yeah, and it's an important point, Dr. Del Rio. And is it also important, and please, if it is not safe, Sullivan, you're wrong, is that the folks I've talked to, a lot of which are not on camera, they will not go on the screen, doctors here in New Jersey, elsewhere in the country have said, this is endemic. Omicron's the latest strain. There'll be another one after that and another one after that. They do find some hope. And I spoke with somebody last night, a virologist, who suggested the more mutations mean it might be weakening. It might be more transmissible, but less severe, less worrisome in its outcomes. What do you think would ultimately happen? How long will this go on?
Well, without doubt, COVID is here for a long time. We're not going to be over anytime soon. And I think a lot of places are going to start seeing COVID transition to a more of an endemic disease. But the reality is, as long as there's a pandemic globally, we are going to see new strains emerge. We are going to see new variants emerge. As the CEO of Moderna said, this is a very unusual strain. It's a very quick evolution, but it has a lot of mutations. And, we have a lot to be learned on this Omicron strain. But what I hear from colleagues in South Africa is, yes, it is very transmissible. It's causing a lot of cases. It's causing a slight increase in hospitalizations already. But I also hear that in many of the people that are getting infected, the disease is not as severe. And many of those are already vaccinated individuals. So again, I think the most important thing is if you're vaccinated, you may not prevent infection, but you probably still prevent, even with the vaccines not being as effective against this new strain, you probably still prevent severe disease and hospitalization.
This is such an important point that you are making. And again, I'm just reading and trying to learn from you and many other experts on the air, off the air as well. We hear things like more mutations, in a headline or on TV. That sounds scary, doctor. We hear things like variant. These are scary words nowadays. But does more mutations necessarily mean more dangerous?
Well, we don't know. Some of the mutations that this virus has do increase transmission, do decrease, the efficacy of antibody treatments, do decrease the efficacy of vaccines. But we don't know if the virus, by having all these mutations, is in effect compromising its ability to do other things. So it may be that, yes, maybe it's more transmissible, but it's less severe. We don't know. We still need, and what I think we need is a little bit of patience to let the science tell us what's going on. I think a lot of people are looking at this. The good news is as information is evolving, we are learning it. We're communicating constantly with scientists around the world, and we're hearing very quickly what's happening in South Africa, in Europe, and many other places that I think is going to help us inform what we need to do. Here in the U.S., what we need to do is pretty clear. We got to get people vaccinated. We got to get people boosted. We have to continue wearing masks. And again, I really want to emphasize the importance of testing. Rapid testing is very good at identifying this variant, and using testing more effectively is a good way to prevent transmission in many settings, including, for example, in family gatherings.
Yeah, exactly. Do the test before Thanksgiving or Christmas, whatever it is. Doctor, I got to let you go, but very quickly, leave us with a little bit of good news. I know seasonality is a dirty word. You guys had a terrible spike in Georgia a couple of months ago. The data I'm seeing suggests cases and hospitalizations, thankfully, appear to be way down, correct?
Absolutely. We are doing okay in Georgia right now. We're seeing a nice reprieve from this infection, and we're hoping to continue it this way.